There's been plenty of debate about the Bengals' 5th overall draft selection. Most want them to take Penei Sewell with the 5th overall pick. But if not, there are a lot of people out there saying take a tackle anyway. You got to keep Joe Burrow upright. And that's scary logic to me. And I hope the Bengals certainly don't have that same mindset for a few reasons. One, why in the world would you settle with the 5th pick? The 5th pick is something the Bengals hope they never have again. They don't want to be drafting in the top 10 ever with Joe Burrow at quarterback. So you need to make sure you get an elite talent here. And outside of Penei Sewell, are any of these guys in the offensive line, whether it's a Rashawn Slater, even a Christian Darrisaw, any of these guys, worth the 5th overall pick in a deep tackle class? My answer is no. And I don't think the Bengals will feel that way either. So you look at some of these other guys, I think Jamar Chase, no-brainer, special. But you got to keep Joe Burrow upright. You do. And Jamar Chase, a guy who can get separation and doesn't really have a weakness, and dominated the SEC at 19 years old with Joe Burrow at the helm at LSU back in 2019, he's a guy that makes Joe Burrow's life easier. See, it's not just about offensive line. It's about guys who can separate and win downfield, guys who can become true number one options in an offense. So if I'm the Bengals, I'm open to any number of these guys at the skill positions, whether it's Jamar Chase, who projects to be a number one wide receiver, Jaylen Waddle, who's just an absolute blazer. And yes, he did miss most of the 2020 season, but if you watched him in that national championship game, he clearly has heart. He's willing to play injured, and he's a baller, was the Crimson Tide's number one wide receiver until he got hurt. And then the other guy, Devonta Smith, Heisman to Heisman, makes a lot of sense to me. So 3 wide receivers, I think for sure, deserve consideration at number 5. And so does Kyle Pitts. We've talked about Kyle Pitts a lot. He's what was our mock draft, guy that we mock drafted to the Bengals in mock draft 2.0. And it's pretty obvious why. He might be the best skill player in this draft. He might be ahead of Jamar Chase. He's 20 years old, dominated the SEC, can win on the outside, can win in the slot. He's a tight end. He's a willing blocker, but he's a damn good wide receiver. And he can play all over the field. He's drawn comparisons to Darren Waller. You want to talk about taking Burrow's game to another level, taking this Bengals offense to another level. I'm not saying don't address the trenches. You've heard me, and if you have, I want them to address him in free agency. And I'm not against Sewell at number 5. But when you look at this draft class, there's no way in hell I'm going to reach for another offensive lineman not named Penei Sewell when I can take someone, maybe a Sam Cosmi falls to 38. Maybe a guy like Alex Leatherwood falls to 38. There are going to be guys in the 2nd round or maybe 3rd or 4th rounds, depending on the position you're talking about, that can come in and be upgrades for the Bengals and certainly increase their depth in the trenches. For more on the Bengals, make sure you hit subscribe and check out allbengals.com.